Good morning, students. Welcome to Success Tree classes. We will do India Yearbook 2017. It's a very beautiful government document that is important for both PT and mains. Now, the importance is much as there are many questions that are being asked in the PT exam as from current affair. So it will provide you authentic source for the government schemes. It is also important for analysis of the certain portion of mains as well. So the focus should be based on more of the new schemes, as the yearbook, if you see, compared from the last years, it has transformed itself a lot. It is more focused on the new government programs and initiatives. So we hope in the next, say, 10 to 12 classes, we'll try to complete this India yearbook. So I hope you will enjoy. If you like the videos, you hit like, subscribe to our channel as well, and you can comment as well if you wish, if you have any doubt. Thank you. So here we go. So today we'll start with chapter number 6. Till now we have done agriculture chapter last time. So we have changed the approach how we do this India book. Now onwards I'm making notes of the every chapter, whatever I find relevant for mains and PT both. And I will let you know in between like what portion is important for mains and which one is important for PT purpose. So one thing is either you can keep on marking the important portion in your yearbook. Secondly, we can also provide you the handouts of whatever the important things that we are noting in down in our right. So we are trying to make the gist of the India book chapter by chapter. Right. Well, I think you have purchased the yearbook. Not an issue. It's a good book. Keep it with you, and certain it will help you definitely. So either you can refer the book completely or you can refer the handouts. Because even I have observed every year certain portion remains same in yearbook. So why not to make notes of this, right? And though this year in yearbook has many more new portion as well, many new schemes they have been introduced in the yearbook. So from that perspective, it is important for our prelims and mains both. It will also help in the revision of certain basic concepts as well. So the thing is, we'll try to relate how the question can appear from the various contexts. So we'll start from chapter number 6, that is basic economic data. So it helps us to revise certain economic concepts, certain things that helps from this point, from this chapter point of view. We'll see as we proceed. So the ministry that we'll discuss here is Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. Let's say it has two wings. One is dealing with statistics, another dealing with program implementation. And both separate wings have separate departments or separate sections in them. In the statistics, we have National Statistics Office, which has CSO and NSSO. So just remember CSO, a very important office, that is Central Statistical Office, and another one is NSSO. So they are under statistics wing of Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. Another wing deals with program implementation. Now there are three components in program implementation of this ministry. First one is 20-point program. Secondly, infrastructure and project monitoring. Third is Member of Parliament Local Area Development Scheme. So among these three, the third one is the most important. You can somehow skip the first two, but third one you cannot afford to skip. How it is important from prelims point of view, the question can be asked. Because say MP-led scheme. The MP-led scheme under which ministry? It is under Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. By the name of MP-led, you won't be able to get to know like which ministry it is. You may somehow opt Ministry of Rural Development. It was under Ministry of Rural Development earlier. Then it was shifted to Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. Right? Two institutes are there, National Statistics Commission and ISI, Indian Statistical Institute. बहुत ज़्यादा कुछ याद नहीं रखना है, इसके अंदर इतना ही ध्यान रखना है, only this thing, MP-led scheme under this ministry, Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation, that's it. Now come to CSO. What CSO does? It is important from economic point of view. So what it does, it compilation of national accounts, IIP, CPI in three indices, urban, rural and combined, human development statistics, including gender statistics, and dissemination of energy statistics, social environment statistics, and preparation of national industrial classification. So just remember the first three: national accounts, IIP, and CPI. So all these three are compiled by or brought by CSO, right? So it says CSO releases CPI for both all India, state UTs, separately for rural, urban, and combined. So in three different indices it brings, separately for urban, then rural, and then finally combined as well. Another important thing, the base year has been changed. The base year has been changed to 2010. Per capita net national income is not so important. It may not be asked in PT, but it helps you to bring the comparison and show our improvement when you discuss about in mains or maybe in interview. Somebody asks you how much is the per capita income, how much is poverty. Like we bring poverty as per either Tendulkar committee or Rangarajan committee. So around 21-22% as per Tendulkar committee and Rangarajan committee around 29-30%. Right? Then somebody can discuss how much is per capita income. Right? So this India book has the previous data. The latest data is above 1 lakh rupees at current prices. So it has crossed. So around 4 or 5 months ago, this data came in the 16-17 as per first advance estimate of 16-17 released by CSO. Base year of CPI is in 2010. Yes. Base year of CPI. Yes. So it is rupees more than one. You can have some idea. It has crossed 1 lakh rupees. 1 lakh rupees per annum at current market prices. Another thing is at current prices. At constant prices, it is somewhere around 85,000 rupees. ठीक है, difference क्या है at the constant prices and current prices? Yes, correct. ठीक है, इन्होंने यहाँ पर दिया है कि at constant market prices somewhere around 77,000, लेकिन अभी कितना है 85,000 के अराउंड है अभी. पूछेंगे नहीं पीटी में, डोंट वरी, एग्जैक्ट फिगर दे वोंट आस्क कि कितना भी है. Now come to certain indices. So CPI, Consumer Price Index, for rural, urban and combined both. Base year has been changed from 2010 to 2012. So this is the revised base year that is being considered. Now there has been observed fall in overall inflation. Why? How? Again, CPI, the major, if you see the difference between CPI and WPI, right? The major fall in CPI mainly in the basis of price of food items, whereas in the fall of WPI, it is majorly driven by crude oil items, refinery product items, right? Because the weightage, that is the difference, major difference. The weightage of crude oil petroleum products are more in the WPI, whereas weightage of, we are comparing the two indices basically. So in relative to the other we are talking about. Service sector, not relevant for PT, just have an idea how much if you bring the comparison in the mains. So more than 50% service sector contribution. Service trade, it has said it has shrunk. Just remember ki service trade bhi, it has shrunk. Just how export has shrunk in the last few years, right? The same is, even there had been decline in the service export as well. You can leave that also. Now come to this infrastructure supportive industries. So there are 8 core industries. Now these 8 core industries, one of the point is these 8 core industries, the main significance is what? Main significance is with respect to support to the infrastructure. Right? Then what are these 8 core industries? Question has been asked in the past. Right? In 15 also, in earlier times as well, the question has been asked directly, which of the following are the core industries? So you should have exact idea what are those 8 core industries. Go through them, remember them. coal, crude oil, natural gas, refinery products, fertilizers, steel, cement, and electricity. See, there are three items dealing with the oil and gas. Right? Three items. One is crude oil, second is natural gas, and when you refine the crude oil, you get the refinery products. So these three are interlinked, you can remember them. Then you see another energy products, coal and electricity, fertilizer, steel and cement. You use steel and cement in the infrastructure. You can directly link with it because these 8 core industries are dealing with infrastructure. So what all you require in the infrastructure? So definitely your oil, gas are part of the infrastructure, right? Steel, cement are part of your infrastructure. Coal also one of them. So these are 8. बताइए कभी, what are the 8 core industries?
Coal, electricity, refinery products, oil.
Go again through them. Yes, Ritvik?
Electricity, coal, crude oil, cement, fertilizers, natural gas, and
So what do you do?
refinery products.
Yeah, what do you do? Bring 3 dealing with oil and gas at simultaneously, right? What are these? Crude oil, natural gas, and refinery products. ताकि आप भूलेंगे नहीं 3 में से कौन सा रह गया, right? Then you have coal, fertilizer, cement, steel, and electricity. So these are 8. Then you need to see the weightage to IIP. Overall, it is around 38%, exact 37.90%. So this is also important. Ki how much is their weightage in the IIP, Index of Industrial Production. Then the declining order. First 3 you remember. The first 2 has been asked, I think, earlier. The first was asked, right? So electricity has around 10%, 10.3%, 10.3% of weightage. Right? Steel has more than around 6.6%. Refinery products around 6%. So in declining orders, even if you don't remember the exact how much, remember electricity, steel, and refinery products. This is the declining order of core industries, their weightage to IIP. Now this table won't be in yearbook. This I took from PIB. What?
490.
What did you say?
On the page
490 diya hua, okay. Now it further discuss about IIP. Okay, who does the compilation of IIP? CSO. CSO has major responsibility. What it does basically, what all indices it brings. क्या क्या काम करता है CSO? अभी डिस्कस किया हमने जस्ट नेशनल अकाउंट, CPI, IIP, ये 3 तो कम से कम याद रखो आप. ठीक है. बेस ईयर 4-5 से आपको अभी चेंज करना है. स्टिल इट इज बेस ईयर इज 4-5. So the committee under Dr. Sumitra Chaudhary is there to revise the base year of IIT. Then there is
जो CPI डिफरेंट CPIs है उनका सबका अलग-अलग बेस ईयर है. तो वो अलग-अलग आपको पता है?
No, you just have the exact overall की कितना है. Annual survey of industry. So this is just remember there is some survey like this, annual survey of industry. Then NSSO. What is the function of NSSO? So basically large sample scale surveys in diverse fields. In so many different fields, NSSO does the survey and compiles the data. बस इतना ही याद रखो, जो भी याद है, majority of the things will be part of this NSSO. You can see what it does. It does the household survey on various socio-economic subjects, ASI also, under the Collection of Statistics Act, enterprise survey, follow up the economic census. It collects the data on urban rural prices. So just remember, it does conduct a large sample survey in diverse fields on all India basis. That's it. Come to 20-point program. Though started in 75, has been restructured many times. Presently, we have 2006 model of 20-point program. Basic idea to eradicate poverty and improve quality of life of the poor. Now, what all will come into being, whatever comes to your mind that will help in eradication of poverty, will be part of 20-point program. ठीक है, आपको पता है कि poverty eradicate करने के लिए क्या-क्या program हो सकते हैं, but all these will be part of under the TPP 20-point program. So various socio-economic aspects are included like poverty, employment, education, housing. All these will be part of 20-point program. Just remember the idea, what actually it is. ताकि सामने you don't just feel कि what has come. So though it's an old scheme, so chances are less to be asked in the PT exam. MP-led, Member of Parliament, Local Area Development Scheme. Now this is important. So as we discussed, this scheme was earlier under the Ministry of Rural Development. Even the name signifies directly local area development, right? But now it has been shifted to, in 1994 it was shifted to Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. So first question is regarding this one. So emphasis is on the creation of durable community assets in the area of national priorities. Now there are certain features of MP-led scheme. We'll go through them one by one, and these features are important. The first feature talks about it's a central plan scheme, fully funded by the Government of India, through which funds are released in the form of grants in aid directly to the district authorities. So these are grants in aid, right? It's not something loan given to the authorities or whatever. It's grants in aid directly, and given directly to the district authorities. So DM gets the in charge of the fund, how it is going to be spent. Second, non-lapsable. Even if the funds is not spent in a particular financial year, it will get transferred to the next year. It is non-lapsable. That gives annual entitlement per year, per constituency, per MP. It's 5 crore rupees. And yeah, 5 crore. Then role of MP is limited to recommendation of works only. The implementation work is actually done by the district authorities under the in charge of DM. So district authority has the responsibility to sanction, execute and complete the works recommended by the MPs. So MP's work is limited to the recommendation of the work. Okay, what kind of work that MP want to bring into that local area. So who has the major responsibility in implementation? District authorities. Now it shows MPs, they can recommend the work in what constituencies in fact. Lok Sabha MPs, they have a respective constituency. So in that particular constituency only, they can recommend the work. Rajya Sabha MP,
from the state.
they are from the whole state. They are getting elected, right? So in the whole state, anywhere they can recommend the work. And what about the, say, nominated members? Nominated members of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha? Anywhere. They don't have a specific state or not even a specific constituency. So anywhere in the country.
Is this applicable for JNK?
No, there are many more provisions which are not applicable there. So don't give the exception there. We're talking about in general terms.
So in this fund will carry next year.
Yes, non-lapsable. It won't lapse. Now there is certain exception to this. MPs, they can even recommend the work in other districts as well, in other constituency also, in case of natural calamities. So once there is natural calamity, the MP-led work can be implemented in areas affected by natural calamity. So MPs from non-affected areas of state duties can also recommend permissible work up to maximum of 25 lakhs per annum. So in case of natural calamity, they can even, other MPs can also recommend the work there. But limit is given 25 lakh rupees per annum. Then special attention is given to SC/ST, development of areas inhabited by SC/ST. So 15% of MP-led funds are to be utilized for areas inhabited by SC population, 7.5% for areas inhabited by ST population. So even this MP-led scheme tries to bring the social inclusion in their local areas, in the constituencies. Now this is another point regarding social inclusion. 20 lakh per year for giving assistance to differently abled citizens. Right. So social inclusion means basically giving importance to various vulnerable sections of society which are excluded basically from the society. So lower caste, it has taken SC, ST into consideration and the differently abled citizens as well. Now, these funds released are deposited by district administration in nationalized banks, including IDBI, RRBs, Grameen banks. So that's all about MP-led scheme. So go through these points once again about MP-led, and that's all about this chapter as well. Revise this chapter. You can leave these service sector, service trade. No need to remember the data. You just have an idea that definitely that because of global subdued global demand, there has been declining export. You know about this, right? So definitely the service export has also declined. Yes, Amit. What is the contribution of core industries overall to IIP?
Approx 38, 37.3.
Yeah, 38% around, 37.9%. So exact 38% around is the contribution. Good.
First one is electricity.
So what is the declining order? The top three?
Electricity, steel, refinery products.
Yes, good. So electricity, then steel and refinery products. So maybe this time they ask the declining order, the first three. Hmm? The last also. Yeah, see the last one. Last one is fertilizers. 1.254. So the weightage of fertilizers is the last one. 1.254.
So apart from weightage, can we categorize them into other?
Now this is the possible categorization the question can be asked. What is the work of CSO, Priya? What kind of compilation it does? What kind of indices it brings?
It is conducting sample survey of
CSO.
survey in economic,
Hmm?
economic survey.
क्या कर इकोनॉमिक सर्वे CSO नहीं CSO या बताइए अंशित CSO
National accounts,
National accounts.
CPI, and another development and energy related.
Yes, good. Okay, the main features of MP-led scheme. Abhishek नाम आपका बताइए.
Firstly, it has the MD recommends the work, the state authority is
Under which ministry it comes?
this Ministry of Stamina and Program Implementation. Then 5 crore is the per
Right.
MPs from Lok Sabha in their constituency they can recommend out, and Rajya Sabha in the state nominated the members can
Right.
recommend anywhere in the country. And also yes.
ऋतु आप बताइए आगे.
Sir, there is an exception in case of natural hazard, they can recommend works up to 25 lakh in other districts. Then they have to focus on SCST, 15% have to go to SC, 7.5% to ST.
And there's a proportion to the population, I think, right?
Then they only recommend the work, and that
Yes.
implementation is by the district authorities.
Good. That's all for differently abled as well. There is inclusion part, certain percentage.
Tricycles.
Hmm? Yes, right. So that's all from this chapter. Now we come to chapter number 7, commerce. So we try to see our foreign policy, foreign trade policy basically. Trade and commerce. So commerce is a chapter. Now the initial part, just for understanding, you can read that what this Department of Commerce it does, and it is monitoring this foreign trade policy, Department of Commerce, under Ministry of Commerce and Industries. Now I come to below part, current trade situation in global and India. So it basically discuss about the stagnation in GDP growth as well as in trade, right? So in the whole globe we are seeing the stagnation in the growth, and same way now that's why they have projected even lower growth for the developed countries and somewhat higher growth for the developing countries. So they are seeing certain issues, element of risk, challenges, and market volatility. So we are also seeing the weakening commodity prices. So these weakening commodity prices, though India is gaining, right, but overall in the world they are losing. How? Because India gains because major share of their imports food basket, this oil import it does, right? But on an average overall, it has reduced the global demand because the oil, the countries which are basically dependent on the commodities, their growth has declined a lot. Once their growth has declined, it has reduced their demand as well, right? And there are other issues linked to it, like Chinese, like even earlier time when other developed countries they had been on the lower growth trajectory, the world growth was buoyant by this Chinese growth, right? But even now, China's growth is also declining from the earlier times because devaluation yuan is the way how it is trying to balance it. Yes, because it is rebalancing its economy. Just remember the term, exact term, because of rebalancing of Chinese economy. Right. Then you can discuss what is this rebalancing.
Concentrating on itself.
Sorry,
Asia byword का keyword rebalance.
क्या कर रहे हैं आप?
Asia byword का जो keyword है वो भी rebalance.
Right, right. So remember here the word so Chinese economy is going through rebalancing. What is this rebalancing? Priya, बताइए. What is this rebalancing of Chinese economy?
The domestic price wages are increasing now,
Mm-hmm.
and and the Chinese market prefer low wages market. In this way,
You're going in the correct direction. Exactly समझाई क्या है अंकित? बताओ.
So concentration on more on the domestic trade, less reliance on the export side. Now the
ठीक है.
trade is within the periphery of.
Can you say exactly here they're trying to do so, right? Or Ritvik explain करिए. Try to explain this.
Sir, वहाँ पे labor cost increase हो रही है, then they are trying to, so they are trying to do high-end technology.
Yes. Good. So thing is, see, even the earlier time when China was having a say double-digit growth, it was basically based on the low-cost manufacturing products, export-driven, low-cost manufacturing products, right? But as the wages started rising in China, even the low-cost manufacturing, their major part is based on the wages. If the wages rise, the cost of the products will rise, and China is losing its competitiveness in those low cost manufacturing the products. So it is trying to rebalance its economy from the low cost products, from the export driven to trying to increase the domestic demand. It is trying to move up higher in the say technology ladder. So it is trying to focus more on the high-end products. So that's why it's losing its share on those, and those industries they are finding new avenues where which provide them, say, advantages that China had been providing in the past. So that's why these industries are shifting to Southeast Asian economies like Thailand, Vietnam, Indonesia, Bangladesh. India also has huge potential. Once China is losing its share, China is, say, those industries are shifting. So India has huge potential to attract those industries. But we have certain major issues. One of the thing is labor reforms.
China is shifting to technological advancement.
Yes, because once the price of product rises, it cannot remain competitive in the low cost manufacturing. So it has to move on the high end manufacturing or service driven economy. Just how you see the trajectory of those already developed countries, how they have moved. Initially, the country they develop, they start on the low cost manufacturing, then they move on the high end manufacturing or to the service driven. Though India had been an exception, directly we moved towards service driven economy, but now we are also trying to rebalance, isn't it? Till now we had been service driven. Now we are giving more focus to the manufacturing industries. Even it shows here the slowdown and rebalancing of Chinese economy, lower commodity prices, and strains in some large emerging market economies. So these are certain challenges that our world economy is facing. Then it gives the projection the trade growth has been low, very low in comparison to the last 20 years. Why this has been low? You can leave this, or for the understanding, you can have an idea of what actually is going on, how, what issues are going on, challenges are going in our world economy. It says India has been a resilient exception since it is a net commodity importer. Now, this issue, the discussion is regarding there had been adverse impact of falling commodity prices on the overall world economic growth. But India has taken it in a receptive manner. India has gained, in fact, because of falling commodity price. Why? We are net importer of this.
What is world value chain?
See what happens now. Any of the product that is formed, a country is not specialized in the manufacturing of the whole product. There are various intermediary levels. So there is a value chain. For example, one component is manufactured in Thailand, another component in India, and it is finally assembled in China. So it's a global value chain. It is because different countries they have different specialization in certain products. And China has been vertically placed in the global value chain.
Vertically based.
Means at the higher level, the different products are manufactured different levels, and they are coming to the China, and finally at the higher value level they are placed. Then when finally it is assembled in China, it is finally built in China, then it is exported at the higher prices. So at the vertical level, it is placed in the value chain, not at the lower level. Are you getting this point? Initially the value is low. It keeps on improving in the value addition at higher level. So just remember what the integration global economy. Now challenges are given, certain challenges. In challenges, they discuss about inadequate infrastructure. These are common challenges you would have studied earlier. Suboptimal connectivity with global transport, low transport capabilities, complicated administrative requirements, which enhances the cost of doing business, and cause long delays at ports and customs. So these are issues why uh, there are certain challenges for India being part of this global value chain. Now, what the measures need to be taken? So these are measures. It says India to successfully. So the this discussion is majorly based for the your mains point of view for developing your understanding. So India to successfully integrate into value chain, whether regional or global, it need to strengthen trade-related physical infrastructure, appropriate regulatory regime for transport services, improve efficiency, predictability in border procedures, policy reform in logistics services, ease of doing business, so that enabling environment for industry, mega regional trading agreements as well. For example, India is part of RCEP. About mega regional trading blocks, it says they go beyond trade in goods and services into areas of the investment competition. So we are TPP now. The question may be asked because now US has come out of TPP, but it won't be having major significance as thwarting India's interest, right? Because without US, TPP has lost its shine. And earlier time we had been very skeptical, very apprehensive of TPP. It could, in fact, keep India out of a major trade. So there's a good sign for India, right? Now, TTIP now, once TPP is no more, we don't know the future of TTIP, whether TTIP will come or not. So even well, we are part of RCEP. What is RCEP? Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership. But you also know about TTP from PT point of view, right? But all countries are now. US has come out, so even you should know this. Huh? Yes.
From North America, Canada, US, Mexico, Peru and Chile from South America, then six from this region.
Yes, good. So even the question, and this gives a significance that the world is moving away from the globalization, but moving towards the say more towards the protectionism. So these are the examples. Brexit also one of the example. US pulling out from TPP another example. Now what all are parts of RCEP? 10 Asian countries and 6 its trading partners. So what all are countries in RCEP? बताइए, open your atlas, try to locate them.
Six partners, Australia, New Zealand,
Good.
China, India, Japan, and Korea.
Very good. So these are 16 countries, 10 Asian nations, and these 6 countries, 6 trading partners: Australia, New Zealand, Japan, Korea, and India, China. And it generally says now these are different challenges. Now this as a yearbook had been of the before, even US decision of pulling out was maybe yearbook had been published or it would have gone to the printing. So still it shows TPP may challenge, but now TPP is not a major challenge for India, because when major economy pulls out from TPP, it won't be of much of the significance. Maybe it will just fade away. Now, then we discuss devaluation of currency to support export. Now, this is also used by some countries, specifically China. So there has been debate whether India also needs to follow a similar path or not. So can India do so? Is it beneficial for India? Okay, devaluation helps in export or import? Exports, definitely. Right. So can India go for devaluation to support its exports? Well, as sovereignty it can go so, but from economic point of view, suggestion, it shouldn't or should? It should not. Why? Give the reasons. Bataiye, Abhishek.
Sir, the domestic price has been rising.
ठीक है, very
And
good.
we are dependent on oil imports.
Yes, very good.
So then
Definitely very good point. Any other point? Yes, Ritvik. ठीक है, ये major point है. Why we cannot? I believe you understand the point given by Abhishek. Right, we are dependent. Once we devalue our currency, our imports will become costlier. Once imports become costlier, see, oil is major part of our import. Oil become costly, everything will become costly in India. Inflation will rise in India. Another point should be, because even if we devalue our currency, it won't help our exports a lot. We are not export driven economy. First, if he had been Chinese level of manufacturing, say if he had been a manufacturing giant, then devaluation would have helped a lot. But even our manufacturing base is not so solid, not so robust enough, even the devaluation won't help a lot, right? So we should build our manufacturing base and should not just come or interfere in the, say, market driven currency valuation.
And if we third point is if we devalue, then there might be
Competitive devaluation, yes. So another point could be even after Chinese devaluation, there was competitive devaluation in the market. Australia, certain East Asian economies following the same suit. So what is competitive devaluation? Once one economy does, another economy follows the same thing just to protect their interest. You can leave this trade scenario. It just shows that our exports level, how much they have. But for mains point of view, you should have an idea how much export we do overall, and they have declined. World Economic Outlook given by IMF. So they are also asking the indices as well. Go through various indices. From the last 3 years, they have been asking one or two indices. Two indices in 15, in 16, one or two indices in 15 as well. Okay. So go through all the major indices. Now, what I just want to say that there is subdued projection of the overall economic growth of the whole world, around 3.4%. The same way, emerging economies definitely grow faster, so around 7.5%. No need to just focus on these once you revise it. It is just for the understanding what actually is going on in the world, at how much growth and what growth India is growing actually. Same way, exports they had recorded negative growth. Why exports? They had declined. There had been negative growth in exports. Why exports had declined in 15-16? Kya reason were mainly? If somebody asks you why there had been decline in export in 14-15, 15-16, or it has registered a negative growth.
because of the low global demand.
Yes, very good point. See, export depends on the demand, right? When there is slowdown in the whole world is slowing down basically. So demand is low, export has declined. What else?
Slowdown in
हाँ
manufacturing, slowdown in China.
हाँ चाइना ठीक हो तो पूरे वर्ल्ड का ही पार्ट हो गया.
Protectionism tendency.
Protectionism you can say to some extent, yeah, but now protectionism has been observed more after say 15-16, but we are talking about 15-16 period.
But the US and US has shown good growth
Hmm?
this last US.
Now we are talking about this 15-16. Why there has been decline?
Commodity prices declined.
Yes, very good.
Commodity price to decline is the way we export.
ठीक है. This will no see the thing, even when you give the reason why why there has been slowdown in the world or low demand. Low demand in the world is because of low growth in the world, right? One of the reason is say Chinese. Another reason is fall in the commodity prices, because fall in commodity prices have declined the demand of those oil exporting like commodity driven economies.
The commodity prices come down because of decline.
No, you cannot exactly come to this conclusion. This will be a blunt statement. There is a different reason for commodity decline. Both are, you can touch from the both ends. Okay, demand and supply mismatch has been the main reason for commodity price decline. Why demand and supply mismatch? Then another discussion. Okay, because of low global demand. Secondly, overproduction. Supply has increased. They have not accepted to decline the supply even when there was low demand. The Gulf GCC didn't even decide to decline the supply. Yeah, once you keep on supply of oil very high and demand is low, the prices are going to down. Then new avenues of energy resources were developed like shale gas. So it has declined. US imports of the oil. US has found more say inclination to bring shale gas as a major source of its energy. So वो reasons अलग है, but what we are discussing why there was decline in export of India in 15-16. A few reasons you have told, very good points. that slow global demand because of different reasons that we have discussed. Then the point that he mentioned was low commodity prices. Now I will show how this low commodity prices has declined Indian exports. Low commodity prices means low prices for our oil import, right? Low prices for oil import means low prices for our refinery exports as well. अरे डिमांड तो पहले से ही कम है, वर्ल्ड में स्लो डाउन है, नहीं समझ रहे आप? ऑयल प्रोडक्शन की सप्लाई में कोई कमी नहीं है, इट इज सरप्लस, ठीक है? लोग क्यों नहीं खरीद रहे हैं? डिमांड कम है, ग्रोथ कम हो रही है, ठीक है? रिटर्न्स ऑन इन्वेस्टमेंट आर नॉट कमिंग. So what I mean to say, if you see India's export basket, a major part is refinery products. India imports the oil, refine the products, refine the oil, make the different refinery products, and then sell it again to the same countries even from where we are importing. Right. So as a major component, major commodity of our export basket is refinery products, their overall value has declined. Right. Same with the gems and jewelry. You can say once the gold prices they have declined in those levels, then same thing dealing with the gems and jewelry export also. बहुत ज़्यादा इसकी जरूरत नहीं, just have an idea what actually is going in the world and how they are impacting our imports, exports, our economy. कह सकते हैं, right? Now steel production is also improving. Now there are certain other efforts with the government. Same imports also declined. Trade balance. Figures याद नहीं करनी, कुछ नहीं करना, just have an idea what actually is going on. Come to FTP. Now this is an important topic, foreign trade policy, for mains and PT both. So this is the most important topic of this chapter, foreign trade policy. Now you see the points. I have listed certain 10-12 points under FTP. We go one by one, try to understand those points and try to remember them as well right now. So what is trade policy? Policy is what? It's the government strategy basically. Policy of the government, strategy of the government to address some of the structural institution mechanism which are prime importance in foreign trade sector. It also discusses about how trade and economic integration agreement with the trade partners would work better for Indian enterprises. So basically it will also discuss how we can renegotiate or we can strengthen further our trade relation with our trade partners. Then market and product strategy means we have certain strategy as per the market. So we have to focus on the market, like which market is important for India and which products can be, you can say, can be encouraged further, can be strengthened further. So we have strategy under this foreign trade policy, market and product strategy. It recognizes the behind the border constraint. So constraints leading to the clearances, delays in the custom clearance, in the various administrative impediments that basically increases the cost of doing business. When you put more and more time and more efforts in the clearances, it is a kind of cost only. So that's why ease of doing business has been a component in this foreign trade policy as well. Once you bring the ease of doing business, you are cutting down the cost of doing business. So set up export promotion missions to provide an institutional framework to work with state governments to boost India's export. So this is how this foreign trade policy component relies on or strengthens further cooperative federalism as well. right? So even foreign trade policy, though foreign trade policy doesn't seems to be dealing with cooperative federalism, but it is one of the components, because states who are, the various products will come from the different states only, right? So this is how we are collaborating. The union government is collaborating with the state governments by setting up export promotion missions there, and with the ultimate idea of encouraging our exports. So what could be the major objectives? Increasing exports of goods and services, employment generation, and greater value addition in line with Make in India programs. So even FTP should be seen in synonymous with the Make in India, because more and more we make, more and more we manufacture within India, more and more it provides for the exports, and finally realizing objective of our foreign trade policy. Then it also discuss about how we meet the challenges from the various international trading architecture. For example, these mega regional trading blocks, right? So it also discuss about those strategy, how India can cope up with those challenges in the world. Then it also talks about giving certain incentives that focus on procurement of capital goods from indigenous manufacturers under EPCG scheme. We'll discuss this EPCG scheme later on. So instead of importing, say, because certain products, they are part of the intermediate products, and finally making a manufactured final product, and that is to be exported. So instead of importing from, they say, some other countries, so it is say sourcing from the indigenous industries, giving them incentives. Then also discuss about export of defense and high tech items, e-commerce exports of handloom products, leather footwear, toys, customized fashion garments for courier or foreign post office. So major item, major focus on defense, other high-tech items, e-commerce, exports of handloom products as well. Then self-certification is one of the component how we can bring ease of doing business under this policy. Then also encouraging manufacturing and export under 100%, 100% EOU, ESTP. These are certain schemes are given. Then trade facilitation and the ease of doing business. Now all these components, whenever we try to cut the cost of doing business, these are part of ease of doing business. Now these are two schemes which you cannot miss out under FTP. These are MEIS and SEIS. So these are major components of our foreign trade policy. MEIS, merchandise export from India scheme. Now earlier there had been the various, so it is one of the incentives to the exporters, so that they are encouraged to do more and more exports. Earlier there had been plethora of schemes, various schemes, multiple number of schemes to incentivize the exports, right? It is actually bringing all them together and providing only one scheme, so all the benefits will be given under this one scheme. So once you have multiplicity, overlapping of the schemes, it is huge confusion, huge in fact cost attached to those, administrative and time both, efforts and time both. You're taking the benefits, but you're putting a lot of efforts in taking those benefits. A lot of time is devoted to those. A lot of complexity comes. So this is to cut down those complexities. Similarly, there is SCIS, Service Export from India scheme. So they say in place of plethora of schemes, earlier with different conditions for eligibility and usage, now these will be two schemes. Another things attached to it, no conditionality attached to any scripts issued under these schemes. Duty credit schemes issued under MEIS and SCIS would be fully transferable. What actually happens? Basically, certain incentive is provided. आप ही के ऊपर लाके बंद करेंगे. Use it. So, for example, they're given certain benefits, right? Now, instead of giving them directly cash benefits, yeah, listen to it. What it means to say these scripts are fully transferable. It means so those benefits. So scripts are basically those benefits, and these benefits could be redeemed in paying of duty certain. For example, excise duty, certain value addition taxes, VATs and all. So these will be transferable across paying of those duties. समझ रहे क्या कह रहे हैं
This is
भाई
what
कुछ
we
पैसा
use to incentivize the
Yes.
products, no?
करेक्ट
Export.
भाई आपको MEIS SEIS के अंडर आपको कुछ बेनिफिट्स देने हैं राइट इवन दोज बेनिफिट्स कुड बी यूज्ड टू रिडीम सर्टेन टैक्सेस इवन आपको गवर्नमेंट को टैक्स भी पे करना है आपको बेनिफिट्स भी मिल रहे हैं सो इवन दोज duty scripts what are the benefits those will be fully transferable in paying those duties
Basically, through the scripts, you get the value.
yes these are certain components given there under MEIS and SEIS separately so we have discussed what MEIS are so merger of all those schemes which have been given SEIS now it is available to service providers located in India earlier it was Indian service providers so now it will be available to every service provider whether Indian entity or foreign entity but working or located in India. So understand these two schemes because these two schemes are major schemes when you discuss foreign trade policy. Right? When you write about FTP and major equation can come a very prominent question, expected question it is in the coming mains exam. PT में पूछ सकते हैं as per in the different ways.
Foreign trade policy.
It says export through courier or foreign post offices. So they want to use this for e-commerce under MEIS to incentivize exporters of goods through couriers or foreign post office. So courier के through आपको export करना है जो भी करना है. So this is using that particular asset. Then advance authorization scheme. So what this scheme allows. So duty-free import of certain inputs that are physically incorporated in the export product. Because those inputs will be used in manufacturing the final product that is going to be exported. वो भी है ठीक है so it has certain condition of minimum 50% value addition so whenever any exporter it needs certain items that is to be imported from other countries so duty free imports it allows if that is giving certain 50%, 15% value addition and the product is to be exported. Then DFIA, duty-free import authorization scheme. It also allows duty-free imports of inputs with a minimum value addition requirement of 20%. So here it was minimum value addition 15% या 20% आता है. Figures exactly याद रखने की जरूरत नहीं है because they may not ask so much in detail, but you have an idea कि क्या schemes आपकी हैं. They shall be exempted from only from the base payment of basic custom duties. Now come to next EPCG scheme, Export Promotion Capital Goods Scheme. So this basically focused on import of capital goods. So import of capital goods at zero custom duty is allowed for technology upgradation and better services to enhance India's export competitiveness. So difference between this scheme and earlier scheme, here the focus is on capital goods. This is one of the difference. Then certain conditions which make it again different that export obligation equivalent to 6 times of duty saved in 6 years. कि कितना आपको एक्सपोर्ट करना पड़ेगा उसका उतना एक्सपोर्ट करना पड़ेगा कि whatever the duty you are saving in 6 years 6 times of that. Now it also allows indigenous sourcing of capital goods with 25% less export obligation. So even EPCG scheme it has one of the component that incentivizes indigenous sourcing so that it gives support to our domestic manufacturing. क्लियर है यहाँ तक? कोई इश्यू नहीं है, जस्ट रीड, गो थ्रू द स्कीम्स अगेन. Major scheme MEIS, SCIS, these two major schemes. Then we have, you can leave it even if you want to remember, it's up to you. Export through courier or foreign post offices. Advance authorization scheme and duty free import authorization scheme. Basic idea is same, to give them duty exemptions in the imports so that we can incentivize those exports. ठीक है, import को incentive, import को duty free करना है so that that import product is used in the final, making a final product that is to be exported. So idea is again to encourage exports. EPC scheme again to encourage the exports, but here import of those capital goods. So import of the capital goods, in fact, based instead of the any of the goods that was in the earlier schemes. And again the objective is same, to strengthen India's export competitiveness. ये क्या स्कीम से बताइए अमित, अंडर FTP, फॉरेन ट्रेड पॉलिसी?
MEIS, SCIS, the promotion of merchandise and services.
What is MEIS?
Merchandise export.
MEI, India as scheme.
India scheme.
Merchandise export from India scheme. SCIS, same service.
Service export from India scheme.
क्या है ये? What the idea is?
Idea is to promote manufacturing and services with the help of different duty free and.
What is different this time? What is so? What's your name?
Divya.
Sorry,
Divya.
Divya, बताइए.
Duty credit skills.
About MEIS, SCIS, because these are the most important schemes under FTP. So explain these, why these are significant, why they are different.
So earlier, in earlier schemes, we had multiplicity and plethora of schemes which
Right.
were giving order to
Correct.
manufacturers and other service providers. So what we have this time is one dedicated platform
Yes.
through which you can access information and through which you can.
Yes, very good. So same for SCIS as well, right? And what is one other component in SCIS?
No conditions for it.
Yeah. So located in India. Okay, what other schemes, Kavi?
Advance authorization scheme.
Hmm?
Advance authorization scheme. Export capital goods.
क्या है बताइए? Any?
Export.
Hmm.
For export country, we are incentivizing our idea is
Capital goods.
capital. Yes, sir.
EPCG क्या है? Capital goods के लिए. CG, capital goods.
Actually, for there is no duty for importing the capital goods, sir. Because this will improve our export competitiveness.
How it will improve?
Um,
कि कंडीशन लगाई गई है कि वो जो इंपोर्ट कर रहे हैं उससे आपको कुछ ऐसा प्रोडक्ट बनाना है जिसको आपको एक्सपोर्ट करेंगे आगे. ठीक है, समझ रहे हो क्या कर रहे हैं? नहीं समझे?
yes, sir.
Okay. You want to encourage exports. Now whatever the duty free you are providing on those certain import products, that imported product has to be used in making a final product, because the imported product is not a final product. You'll use that in making a final product, and condition you have to export that. उसको export करना, तो finally it is incentivizing the exports basically. But conditions have been put. You have seen the condition कि 6 times the value that they have saved in 6 years.
वो export capital.
हाँ, EPCG की बात कर रहे हैं. ठीक है. It also indigenous sourcing को भी it is encouraging. So even if you don't remember what under this duty free import authorization, even just remember the name, you can mention in the as one of the point in your mains exam, that AAS, because idea is same, they are giving the incentives in the import so that export can be increased.
Main we just have to mention the name.
Yes, just mention the name and say what their objective is. That's it. Overall,
Promote it.
yes, by incentivizing imports. Yes.
What is the meaning of behind the border constraint?
Means one thing is, say you put the tariff barriers. Behind the border constraint means you can, what I believe is the administrative constraint these are, in the clearances and all these things. Though they have not been mentioned, but I think it is regarding this. There are so many other constraints within the, yeah. For example, connectivity, right? So many administrative expenses within the country. There are so many things in you can discuss in the logistics. It's good you are able to connect these things. क्या वो क्या क्या चीजें डिस्कस करनी है, discuss. Now this is a major component of FTP, ease of doing business. तो क्या क्या चीजें बात करनी है when you discuss FTP? Those certain objectives, MEIS, SCIS, ease of doing business, and sorry, certain schemes EPCG, AIS, जो भी आप ये बात करें schemes के बारे में. So ease of doing business is a major component of FTP. So how you are trying to bring ease of doing business and e-governance initiative? So even e-governance initiative is it buttresses ease of doing business basically. So first point is reduction of documents. बस इतना ही याद रखो, बहुत ज़्यादा इसमें कुछ पढ़ने की requirement है नहीं. Now there had been so many documentation, so many documents that had to be complied. Now these documents have been cut down. Now you have to fill a lesser number of forms, low number of documentation, and even those documentation has been made online. एक तो documentation कम कर दिया है. Secondly, that documentation has been made online.
So one more thing, what has been done in this portal is if you are a particular service or manufacturing industry, you just type your type, like what category you follow, and then that portal will give you information that what documents you need and what
Yes,
you
yes,
will have to
right. So it shows how much user friendly our this trade system we are trying to make it under this foreign trade policy. Second component says online filing of documents, application paperless trading 24/7 environment. Just remember this line. This will suffice your argument for inmates. So one thing is reduction of documents. Secondly, online filing of documents and paperless trade in 24/7 environment. अंदर पढ़ने की जरूरत नहीं, क्या क्या कर रहे हैं, just remember it. Then importer exporter code, certain codes.
पोर्टल का नाम क्या है?
क्या कह रहे हैं? पोर्टल एक आपका DGFT पोर्टल है, DGFT एप्लीकेशन है, इंडियन ट्रेड पोर्टल.in है आपका. So then complaint resolution system. So whenever, because any system can basically strengthen ease of doing business only when it has certain grievance redressal or certain complaint resolution mechanism. So there is complaint resolution mechanism as well, and that is online. Online audit, ISO certification, social media. Now here it comes the mobile application. So DGFT. So by this name there is application, mobile application, DGFT. What it does, it helps the various importers, exporters to access the information, whatever information is required regarding the trade. For example, what documents are required for import and export, right? Even they can check the status of transmission of various authorization, at what level the documents are in terms of authorization. What about their bills, shipping bills and all. So different status they can get to know. So more and more information means when you provide more information, you are in fact going towards cutting down the cost of doing business. You're making it more user friendly, more trade friendly. Then single window for trade. There are so many, say for example, ports, so many dry ports as well within India. Export cargo, so many airports from where export occur. So single window for trade, where you can get the clearances, get the various issues resolved from a single point. बस नाम ध्यान रखो, बहुत कुछ अंदर नहीं पढ़ना है, just remember it. There is single window for trade as well. There is mobile application as well, DGFT, what its function is. Now this is important. Niryat Bandhu scheme. There is also another scheme, very important scheme under this foreign trade policy that you can mention. What is Niryat Bandhu? Niryat means export. Bandhu means friend. So this certain your Bandhu means kin. Okay. So the objective is mentoring first generation entrepreneurs. So he's an officer. Niryat Bandhu, the person is an officer, and providing the very hand-holding exercise to the various exporters so that whatever their issues are, they can be resolved. Whatever hurdles they face, they can be taken forward, and helping them at every level while they are doing this process of exports. Though it doesn't differentiate between import export, it is for both importers and exporters, but the focus is more on the exports. So it is going to mentor interested individuals in the arena of international business. So these are officers of DGFT. So say would help the new importers, exporters by leveraging the knowledge base of officers and providing timely appropriate guidance. So I believe you understand what this will do. Then MSME cluster, even this will help in more and more exports, also strengthening our manufacturing base as well, realizing the potential of MSME sectors. So there are various benefits where you can use this MSME cluster. So where you can write this point, you can write this point in encouraging trade, exports basically. You can write this point while the question comes regarding manufacturing industry. This point can also be written when the question is regarding MSMEs. So at different kind of questions, you can use this point. Then towns of excellence kind of outreach program. Go through these points once again, whatever we have done till now.
What is outreach intervention? They go and
Outreach, you reach to them and tell them to do. So towns of excellence, these are certain towns of excellence under Niryat Bandhu. So you encourage certain specific export product that may be specialized to that specific area. So in different towns, they are different. They are counting on different specialized products, right? So focusing on those and encouraging the exporters, then people to come under. Yes. आप बताएंगे उनको कितना पोटेंशियल है इन दीज प्रोडक्ट्स.
is GI tag related? Is GI tag into IPR?
क्या कह रहे हैं
GI tag is related to
GI टैग कैसे? How?
you have term of excellence. I am asking you.
I don't
China
think.
they do this very well.
Hmm?
China they do this very well. And this city exports all the apparels. This city exports
Right,
all
specialized.
this
Yes.
small pant refills.
They have centers of excellence. Yes. So the same with towns of excellence. So certain towns will be encouraged. For example, different cities they are specialized in different things. Hmm. Exactly. Okay, just go through, revise them, read the points once again. So where you can find this in OneNote, once you access OneNote. So there is IYB is one of the section that I have made. Under this IYB section, then different chapters I will add on. Keep on adding once we keep on doing the classes. So we are doing this chapter number 7, commerce. Yes, Ritvik, what is foreign trade policy 2015-20? Just try to think what could be the objective.
Objective would be to
treat the export.
Hmm.
And,
So what you write first? What this policy is in the first paragraph, right?
strategy for address
It's a government strategy basically, right?
Structural and institutional mechanisms.
Yes,
with
very
state
good.
partners.
Hmm?
With state partners.
Hmm.
Second point, we have to improve our economic integration with the world.
Very good. Yes. What else?
Then they start with the program, NEIS, SEIS. We have to reduce the barriers
In
to
market
market and
and
product.
also doing business.
बहुत अच्छे. ठीक. Keep on.
The border barrier to
Market and product strategy.
Yes, very good.
Behind the border.
Market and product strategy as well. Yes.
Duty free import.
cooperative federalism.
Now tell. Yes, very good. Cooperative federalism वाला point आपका है.
Export promotion.
So and
State
collaborating with states as well.
employment
So
generation.
question, one of the component can be say FTP. In PT the question can come. FTP, one of the point could be it encourages, it also gives support to cooperative federalism. So there is one of the component given, right?
And employment generation is there.
Hmm.
And development of energy sector.
बहुत अच्छे. So MSME cluster. Term exact याद रखो, MSME clusters. Self certification, yes. So how ease of doing business? Certain components under ease of doing business.
Reduction of documents from 7 and 10 to 3 and online.
आप ही बताइए आंसर लो क्या कह रहे हैं?
Reduction of documents.
ठीक है, बहुत अच्छे.
Then online portal.
Right.
And then this Niryat Bandhu.
निर्यात बंधु scheme अलग है. What are the components of निर्यात बंधु scheme? Priya? Try to recall. इतना मुश्किल नहीं है. नाम देखो क्या है. निर्यात and बंधु.
To increase emphasis on exports. More emphasis on exports.
वो तो starting से क्या specific है? What is निर्यात बंधु? बंधु क्या होता है? तो
It's basically
बताइए.
It's basically a nodal sort of officer who will facilitate information, who will mentor the first one, like startups or one who want to export or who does not have exposure
Right.
much about like how the whole mechanism works.
Right.
So he will also make him familiar about how
Yes, very good.
is what you can.
So kind of hand-holding exercise it is.
So it's just basically facilitating information
Right.
and imparting information to those that become.
So he's an officer under DGFT and supporting the various entrepreneurs. Where it is? Where is it? Page नहीं है यहाँ पर. Under which heading?
सर इसके बाद है
निर्यात बंधु
सिंगल विंडो फॉर ट्रेड के बाद सर ई बुक में पेज नंबर 292
just before the निर्यात
इन दोनों के बीच में
वो हटा दिया तो इम्पोर्टेंट नहीं है, रहने दो इसमें. Now come next. Come to next part. Now we discuss India's engagement in free trade agreements. So what this India stand is open, equitable, predictable and non-discriminatory rule-based international trading system. So remember these key terms. What India stands for? Open, equitable, predictable, non-discriminatory and rule-based international trading system. Now the terms are very important. They have significance separately and every word has certain meaning attached to it. So India sees FTA as an overall objective using this trade liberalization and complementing the multilateral trading system. What is this multilateral trading system? Which agency works for it?
WTO.
WTO. Yes, right. What is multilateral trade? Kavi?
Contacting the aim of WTO. Getting loans.
What is
Trade between multiple units. And it may happen
तो
under
ये तो
the
multiple trade.
supervision of a
Now,
trade framework which may
the
be.
trade between multiple entities also happens in TPP, RCP. So, are these TPP, RCP part of multilateral trade, or
No, here, but there is no centralizing or authority
No.
or a framework.
even if there is,
Yeah.
so will it be considered as multilateral trade?
Yes, it should be.
It is a mega regional. That's why they are using the different terms for it.
Either from either with one country.
Multilateral trade means trade between all the countries when you don't have restriction. The whole world has a free trade agreement. Isn't it? Among all the countries. When you restrict it, it's not a multilateral trade. It could be mega regional trade. Just how you find these terms mentioned for TPP, RCP, TTIP. क्या है ये? Mega regional trading blocks. Now discuss about how much India has signed. India has concluded 11 FTAs, 5 limited scope PTAs, and the process of negotiating or expanding 19 more. Just remember, we have 11 FTAs and 5 PTAs. Now, what is PTA, FTA? Different terms are these. Go through them. You might have read them in your economic classes. So, trade liberalization on a limited number of lines. India Mercosur PTA. FTA, elimination of tariffs on items covering substantial bilateral trade between partner countries. India, Sri Lanka. क्या कह रहे हैं? Correct. What do you mean by positive list, Priya? क्या होता है? Difference between positive and negative list? बताइए ऋत्विक राज, explain करिए.
Sir, positive list is where the goods are given and on those goods the tariff
Right. Correct. So these are in PTA. कि आपको किन goods पे, on what goods you are allowed to do trade, on the low duties or almost zero duties.
In the negative list, there are the goods where the rest of the goods,
Correct.
the other goods have to be.
So on FTAs you have a negative list. You could have a negative list. Okay, on these, only on these items, you won't have say zero duties. On other items, you'll have those free trade. Then you have next level CISA, CIPA, BTIA, CISA, Comprehensive Economic Partnership, CIPA, Comprehensive Economic Partnership. First one cooperation, another one is partnership. So CISA next level, CIPA, that is to be said. So what they talks about, they're not limited to only say free trade. So they have integrated package of goods, services, investment, mutual recognition, IP, various components they include. We have CIPA with Korea and Japan both, right? Trade with Asia.
This is like TTA.
क्या कह रहे हैं?
TPP की तरह ये है.
But thing is, it is only between two countries, so it won't have much of an yeah. Trade with Asia, you just need to see our look east policy, now act east policy. Okay. How much trade we do with ASEAN? It says around $76 billion. Plus idea होना चाहिए कितना trade हम कर रहे हैं with Asian nations. As if the question comes in mains, then you should have certain facts to substantiate your arguments. Once you discuss that we have significant trade with ASEAN, and then you say that we have around 75 billion, 76 billion trade with Asian nations. So have it certain. So this exam in mains, not only your analysis and your arguments, but also the data supporting your arguments, the examples, the ground level examples as well on certain cases. With ASEAN, we have economic cooperation agreement. Now directly come to the table. You can leave this, come to table. Just have an idea with which countries we have what kind of FTAs. There is a table. Keep on looking on somewhere after multiple pages. A couple of pages you'll find in the last. Are you on the page? That page. टेबल दिया गया है, come to the table. India Sri Lanka FTA, then SAFTA, South Asian, India Bhutan, India Thailand FTA, India Singapore. So we have CISA FTAs, आपको पता है, Sri Lanka, SAFTA, Thailand. CISA we have Singapore. ASEAN, with ASEAN now we have in service and investment as well. SIPA we have with South Korea and Japan. With Malaysia we have CISA. PTA we have, say, Asia Pacific with Afghanistan, with Mercosur and Chile. Role of standards in international trade. They discuss how the standards they can help in increasing the competitiveness or ensuring the products they are of good quality and safe and environment friendly. For example, we have under WTO sanitary and phytosanitary measures. So those measures they are acting as a standard of trade. So though those kind of the measures, international standard measures, basically they also encourage the trade in those according to those certain international standards. The objective you see to balance the competing demands for domestic regulatory autonomy and global harmonization of product standards in a manner which is trade friendly. Attempt to prevent standards from becoming a protectionist device. However, in practice we notice a trend otherwise. You can see how this kind of measure is used in, you can say, in impeding India's export to those certain countries.
Intellectual properties and generic medicines.
Yes, if you remember, our Alfonso mangoes, they were banned to European Union a couple of years ago, right? On those sanitary and phytosanitary measures. What? Role of standards in international trade. उसी चैप्टर के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं. So this could be important from your mains point of view. For PT you can leave it. Yeah, for PT you can remember how these kind of barriers, so sanitary, phytosanitary measures under WTO and what their objective is, and how they could be used against certain economies as well. Standards and services. Now come to this Indian Trade Portal.in. Now this is important. Even this you can use this point. But the objective of this portal, again from the name itself, whenever we bring the portal, the objective is to facilitate trade. And here every other information is provided on this portal, that to which countries we have signed FTA, what kind of benefits you can derive under this FTA, because even after signing FTA, the traders they need information how it is beneficial for them. This FTA, how they can gain from this FTA, this CISA, this SIPA. So all those information is provided under this tradeportal.in. All those vital information on these countries. So again it will help in the facilitation of trade. So another feature, they say information on measures other than tariff called non-tariff measures like standards, technical regulations, what kind of the standards they need to maintain, certain regulations if they want to trade with this particular country. Single point for almost all information required by an exporter in a user-friendly manner, which will help exporters in accessing markets easily and in a comprehensive manner. So what is this? Indian Trade Portal.in. So what are various e-commerce initiatives we have seen? Online applications, online documentation, DGFT application, then this one, Indian Trade Portal.in. Now here we discuss product strategy, promoting exports of high value products with a strong domestic manufacturing base. So there are different components. One component is export of high value products with strong domestic manufacturing base. For example, engineering goods, pharmaceuticals, drugs, all these. Second is those sectors in lights of India's strength and their contribution to employment. तो पहले बार में हम देखा कि on those sectors which are having strong domestic manufacturing base. Secondly, which are providing employment, which are employment intensive. For example, leather, textile. Then certain sectors based on natural resources. For example, agriculture, plantation crops, marine products, iron ore exports. These are. Then they give an example, northeastern states, special focus area for organic product exports, right? So northeastern states, there are more and more focus is given for organic farming. Which scheme do you have for organic farming? Paramparagat Krishi Vikas Yojana, specifically dedicated for northeastern India. Which one? हाँ?
Organic value chain हो गया,
क्या है आप बताइए? सही बता रहे हैं थोड़ा try to bring it exactly. Organic value chain development for northeastern region. So this scheme was announced in last year budget. क्या नाम है इसका? प्रिया क्या नाम है बताइए फिर से? Organic value chain development for northeastern region. NER. That's all from this product strategy. So understand three kind of products, different kind of products are focused. First one on strong domestic manufacturing base. Second, contribution to employment. Third, natural resources. That is product strategy. Building the India brand. So here it says brand India should be seen with high quality. Then again discuss Indian trade portal. So वही चीज है, ठीक है. SEZ, so we had earlier EPZ, export processing zones. Then SEZ policy was announced in 2000. What the objective is, read it. Sometimes in mains the question comes, or you can use it, use the information. I think in 14 or 15 the question was asked on SEZ. So what SEZ is? First, you people tell. क्या है ये? Kushagar?
Sir, economic zone where certain facilities are provided and ease of business provided through relaxation of duties and one window policy and rules are similar for every unit and the land rates and land
For what purpose? What is the purpose?
To help to help that place grow economically to create employment.
Exact बताइए क्या ये तो secondary objectives हैं. These are secondary exports. कि हम सब कुछ provide करेंगे. We'll provide you the facilities, ease of doing business, relax on the regulation, concession duties. But the condition is whatever you manufacture here, whatever you produce here, you have to export it. So the basic idea is to increase export. But what other spillover benefits? These are spillover benefits that you are saying. So employment generation.
100%
Obligation रहता है आपको export करना होगा. हाँ.
Sir, IT are not exporting everything. IT
तो आपका सॉफ्टवेयर एक्सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं, सर्विसेज एक्सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं.
So, मतलब they some domestic as well. I'm saying this.
नहीं, but this is the condition. The idea is basically to encourage export, and this remains the condition. Yes. So the idea is to make SEZ an engine of economic growth, supported by quality infrastructure, complemented by attractive fiscal package, with minimum possible regulations. Then we have NIMZ. NMIZ सुना होगा आप लोगों ने, NIMZ और NMIZ. What is this? What is this? National Manufacturing.
Industrial manufacturing zone.
हाँ क्या है बताइए?
investment
Investment zone.
Manufacturing or TP and all the taxes and duties are
attractive fiscal taxes.
So there is national manufacturing policy, right? What this policy says? क्या policy क्या कहता है? National man. हाँ.
cluster based development के लिए कहता है.
ठीक है. So this is a cluster based development. NMIZ.
Specific product specific or to double the production by 2022.
बताइए अच्छा बता रहे हैं क्या?
Maybe to double the production by
To increase the share of manufacturing from 17% to 20.
25% by 2020.
It is not NMIZ.
नहीं NMP का पार्ट है ये. NMP का ऑब्जेक्टिव्स हैं ये. ठीक है. Even to create employment 100 million employment by 2022. ठीक है. These are main components of manufacturing policy.
Sector neutral, location neutral and technology neutral.
So there is SEZ Act 2005 and SEZ rules. Simplification rules. So these are various objectives. Read them, remember them. Additional economic activity, exports of goods and services, investment, employment, infrastructure. For mains, this is important. You remember these points. Questions sometimes they are asked directly. So it says around more than 400 approvals and more than 300 SEZs have been notified. There's so many SEZs. In China, there are very less number of SEZs in comparison to India's, right? But Chinese SEZs are more successful. Yeah, but thing is, India has huge number of SEZs, more than 400. China has only in the double digit or single digit SEZs.
चाइना का पूरा एक बहुत बड़ा शहर होता है.
Yeah, right. It's the whole Delhi could be one SEZ. More than NCR region could be, you can say.
The whole city works day and night.
Right. Our SEZs are small, and even they're not connected to the. Once we have the SEZs in the different places in the hinterland, and lack of connectivity to the ports. So what the purpose is? The idea is defeated. And already we have so many issues in our logistics sector. Right? How can you afford, just having these SEZs, having the hinterland and lack of connectivity? So that's all from this chapter. Read the points which you have discussed. So you have to filter out the important information only. So read them only. तो फिर से रिवाइज करिए so that we go to the next chapter then. So the most important part is foreign trade policy in this chapter. Remember what all are components of FTP, what all are schemes you're supposed to write when the question comes regarding FTP. Because one of the question in mains they ask from policy. Policy is a question aata hi hai, right? So the question can come from the foreign trade policy, or say this time health policy also. Now we have National Health Policy 2017.
Last year expected some mental health policy. Last year expected some mental health policy.
तो पूछ सकते हैं इसलिए कह रहे हैं. Go through the important points of FTP. Revise FTP again. Just read the headings only. Try to recall. Try to revise the points. Don't take much of the time. Revise it quickly. India Sri Lanka signed last year ETCA, Exchange in Technical Cooperation Agreement. Exchange in Technical Cooperation Agreement. Technological Cooperation Agreement. Here we have ETCA. It's Economic and Technological Cooperation Agreement. Last year, India Sri Lanka signed this agreement.
Sir,
Hmm.
please explain this part. Does these agreements attempt to prevent a standard from becoming a protectionist device? However, in practice,
Where are you reading from?
sir, standards in rules of standards in international trade.
Where are you reading? Which point?
Sir, this last one. Yeah, does these agreements attempt to prevent the standards from becoming a protectionist device? But in
Where?
practice, last
Hmm.
one.
बताइए क्या ऋतिकराज बताइए
Standard can
समझाइए उनको
standard can become non-tariff barriers, but this
But standards are not becoming
WTO बता रहा है हम standard और वो किस तरह से करें?
how it is a trend?
What is your question?
How it is a trend?
Trend in practice? In practice, you're asking how it's, which particular trend?
Ideally वो non-tariff barriers नहीं होने चाहिए, पर in reality ये
Yes. The objective of WTO is what? Free trade area, right? So reducing all the tariff and non-tariff barriers. So having this, say, certain measures, certain international standards, they should work in accordance to the WTO objectives, right?
They are not working.
But exactly in practice, we are seeing the opposite of this. When certain, for example, certain developed nations, they put certain measures, certain standards. For example, same thing, it can be regarding IP rights. For example, they put certain condition that products manufactured by the child labor, we won't accept it. And this is happening. These things are happening. On what basis our products they are being denied by certain nations? Child labor, environment friendly, sanitary phytosanitary measures. So these are put as conditions.
anti-dumping law. WTO doesn't speak about it.
Okay, now are you done with this chapter? Everybody. So try to recall the points. Now, foreign trade policy is a major. So when you revise this chapter, revise foreign trade policy and the major points, schemes under the foreign trade policy, every scheme under it. बताइए प्रिया FTP FTP क्या है? What is foreign trade policy? If the question comes regarding FTP, first you explain what FTP is. ठीक है?
That is the strategy of trade in international area. And
Revise it. बताइए what's your name? Sorry?
Jayashree.
Jayashree. बताइए.
So to promote and export and commercial integration.
सही बता रहे हैं, अच्छा बता रहे हैं. Good.
And
Yes, Anchit. What else? Foreign trade policy. Yeah.
First is government is trying for economic integration. Second, there is institutional
So economic integration.
structural institutional backing, structural
ठीक है.
framework
Next point.
behind the barriers, trade barriers, export promotion.
Behind the border barriers.
Borders. And also the manufacturers has got the right for self certification,
बहुत
which
अच्छा.
will help for export promotion. And
Kavi, next.
the agreements.
The things that has not been told till now. So you're not listening to your classmates. बताइए कुशागर.
So we have launched various measures like export mission and merchandise export from India scheme and service export from India scheme. Where we
Significance
have
of significance of these schemes.
Previously, we used to have different duty scripts for different merchandises, different kinds of services. So we have normalized it to only one duty, simplified the structure, make it one duty for all merchandise, one duty for all services.
Yeah, one scheme for all. One scheme for all
one policy for all.
One scheme for all the benefits.
Yes, and then we have that we have advanced authorization scheme which allows us to.
और बताइए इसके अलावा क्या है?
Sir, advanced authorization है. उसके बाद export promotion capital good.
बहुत अच्छे.
उसके बाद
Yes, Amit.
Yes, sir.
What else in FTP?
उसके बाद ये जो duty free import.
mobile applications.
Ease of doing business आप बता रहे हैं, ठीक है?
Reduction of documentation.
ठीक है.
Government will reduce the number of documents which are required and also the facility of online. And
Up next, Abhishek.
Sir, there is the DGFT mobile application, then there is a single window for trade.
And
market and product strategy there.
And IndianTradePortal.in also you can say to some Niryat Bandhu scheme, very good. ठीक है. All these will come. MSME clusters, towns of excellence. Now come to next chapter, chapter number 10. Now this is very important chapter, education, for both PT and mains. The initial discussion is basically for mains. Education.
ये last होगा.
Yes. Chapter number 10, education. So initial discussion tells about the importance of education. It discusses that balancing the socio-economic fabric of country, better quality of life, you can understand it. So education gives you what? Education, in fact, makes you able enough. It enables the persons to realize their full potential. So what should be the objective of education? So that people or whosoever they get the education, they are able to realize their full potential. It helps them in their cognitive and physical development. So all this will help in what? This will help in improving their quality of life. So all-round development of our citizens, foundation of new discoveries, innovation, entrepreneurship. So what needs to be done? Basically discuss how we can improve our system, that our curriculum and pedagogy should be relevant to the needs of society and economy, and nurture qualities of problem solving and creative thinking, learning by doing, greater engagement with the live context, and confident self-expression from a young age. So you remember these parameters, you can use it at many different places in equation linked to education. So the objective is so that the education, it acts as a solution to certain needs of our society, economy, makes our young minds more confident and able to solve their problems in daily life, right? So that they can gain something practically from the real life. So it means that education should make them more capable in their daily life, in daily life problems, life skills. So life skills are also part of a good education system. So it should not be rote learning and cramming the things,
It
right?
should not be theoretical or functional learning.
Yes.
Functional education.
So that's why the focus is now on the life skill education as well, so that it helps them in their daily life. It should be inclusive as well, so that all the people. So that's why I say quality inclusive education. How inclusive? Every section of society should gain equal benefit out of it. Right? Different sections which are vulnerable sections, like women, the girl, disabled, lower caste, SC, ST. So it says the objective of any of these programs is access to quality, inclusive, affordable, and meaningful education. Right? So you go through them again so that you get certain basic understanding regarding education. Okay, what are major objective? Even like you might go through NCRTs. अब NCRTs पढ़ते हैं सभी लोग पढ़ते हैं, right? Have you read any time the preface of NCRT? Hmm? If you haven't read it, read it again. Hmm? Yeah, it is very good analysis is given in NCRT. Basically, the demand of education system in today's world. Yes. So in every NCRT you'll find the same preface, but read it. Read it multiple times, get the important points out of it. Okay, now we come to midday meal scheme. It's an old scheme. Now there are many new schemes from education chapter. Our focus will be more on those. Still, we should go through midday meal scheme, what the importance is. Class 1st to 8th students in government local bodies, government aided schools, special training centers and madrasa maktabas supported under Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan. These are maktabs, sorry, yeah. Madrasas, maktabs supported under SSAs. So these are eligible to get the benefit under midday meal scheme. Class 1st to 8th. What the objective is? What all the benefits that one could get from midday meal scheme?
Access and retention,
Good.
learning outcomes,
Hmm.
social and gender equity,
Very good. Health a major one. Health also.
Malnutrition.
Yes. Can we explain this point? How gender equality? So how social and gender equality? There are two components. How social equality and how gender equality can be realized by midday meal.
Many girls, you can bring many girls into
How many girls?
actually in rural areas. If you see at the younger age,
तो वो तो उतने ही लड़के भी आएंगे उससे. Means how gender equality?
Infrastructure is not available for that those
sir, food is an incentive for them.
No, food. Thing is that in households that girls don't get the same.
Yes, this is the point. This is the point. There is huge difference in the kind of nutrition intake between boy and girl. Right? So that's why huge malnutrition among the girls. So this is the point, how gender equality. समझ आ रहा है?
So by bringing them to
In the schools, we expect good quality food will be given. पहली बात ये. Then only it will be realizing gender equality. Yes. Once good quality food is given in the midday meal scheme, the girl will also get a good quality food, good nutritious food. What she was missing if she had been in the households, because the difference in the kind of food the boys and girls they're getting.
at least not education, she can get good food.
No, you should not. It will defeat the one of the objective. Okay. Anyways, it was good on the lighter part, but not on a serious note. Same as social. How social equality? And these are, though it is only single word is written, but you can appreciate the word, appreciate those words. Gender equality. How gender equality? By midday meal. How social equality? बताइए, प्रिया. How social equality?
Both girls and boys
वो तो हो गया gender equality.
So the lower caste also gets to all section of the
Yes,
society
everybody they are sitting together
together
and eating. Everybody becomes equal. Otherwise, there is a restriction on the feeding intercourse as per the caste system, isn't it? The higher caste people they don't prefer to be eating or even sharing the dice with.
In Bihar, this happened that they were not taking the food cooked by the maid because she was from
Yes,
another
yes.
caste. So they
Yes.
corrected and
This was one of the incident. So if it is implemented effectively, even social equality can be realized. It helps the students to mingle with each other from the different sections, different caste, gender,
Even the
different
cooks,
abilities.
they are promoting the cooks also to be scheduled caste because the higher caste they
Right.
don't eat the.
so it will to destroy the social.
So I believe you understand it, right? Right. So you can use the points appropriately in essay in your analysis somewhere in the mains. This is also very important. Tithi bhojan. Something new you can remember it. Tithi bhojan. What is it? Tithi bhojan.
The meal on specific days.
Yes,
They
on,
are
correct.
occasions.
On specific occasions, the family members they participate in providing certain, for example, sweets on the birthday of their child. They come to the school under midday meal. They also provide those family members provide the certain sweets, certain other kind of the dishes, certain cuisines they have prepared in their home. So it is community participation. So Tithi Bhojan basically it's an initiative of Gujarat and the central government it has advised other state governments also to bring these kind of initiatives. So based on this, other state governments have also brought similar initiatives by different name. You can see the last paragraph. Sampirti Bhojan in Assam, Dham in Himachal Pradesh, Snehi Bhojan in Maharashtra, Shaligagi Navu Nevu. What is this? Navu Nevu in Karnataka, Anna Dhanam in Puducherry, Priti Bhoj in Punjab, Utsav Bhoj in Rajasthan. So you can give example of Tithi Bhojan, how this can help.
Can we also mention Akshay Patra?
Yes, you can mention. What Akshay Patra is, बताइए पहले.
मिड डे मील से वो प्राइवेटाइज करती है अक्षय पात्र मतलब वो मिड डे मील प्रोवाइड करती है.
कर सकते हैं बिल्कुल. Then automated monitoring system of MDMS. Important नहीं है बस just go through the heading. Yes, it's
गवर्नमेंट ने उसमें वो स्टेट डाल दिया 70% स्टेट.
So it's a monitoring system for MDMS, automated monitoring system. So MIS portal would be there to monitor MDMS. Now listen to it. No need to go through it much. Important नहीं है prelims के लिए. Just have a look. कि there is monitoring system for MDMS that is automated. MIS, Management Information System. Midday meal rules 2015. So now these rules in 2015 they have been notified under Food Security Act 2013. Now these rules are these. No need to go through them. You can just understand what these rules would be. Food samples to be tested so that they have certain standards and nutrient and calorie content in them. Social audit as well. The National Institution ranking framework documents in web portal. So there will be ranking of the institutions and the different stakeholders. They will be able to rank the institutions. So presently it's available for engineering and management institutions. In future for architecture and planning institution will also be brought. It's National Institutional Ranking Framework. Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan, it's a centrally sponsored scheme at CSS. Right, the idea is to universalize the elementary education across the country. Until what classes elementary education is there? First to elementary education. Sixth कब से होने लग गया? Fifth तो primary education हुआ. First to eighth. भाई आपको क्या बात करते हैं? 6 to 14 years of free and compulsory education. So that is elementary. So first to fifth primary, fifth to eighth upper primary, sixth to eighth, and the overall first to eighth is elementary. पहले से आठवीं तक क्या आपका elementary education. So if you see the Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan, it came in 2001. RT Act came in 2010 in force. So after RT Act came, SSA, they had been restructured in line with the objectives of Right to Education Act. So impact of SSA and RT. Now this we will see. What has been the impact? And this could be useful for your mains analysis. Universal access has been achieved. So 98% habitation have access to primary schools, 97% to upper primary school. So universal access. Increase in the enrollment as well. Now see certain educational indicators. Now these indicators, you go through them, try to remember as data for that could be used in the mains exam. GER, gross enrollment ratio, is 98.85% for boys, 101% for girls. Universal enrollment, so remember this last line only, even if you don't remember the data, remember that we have achieved universal enrollment at the primary level. In the education indicators that is mentioned. All this data is mentioned there in the yearbook. Then secondly, discuss PTR ratio, pupil teacher ratio. It has improved from 32 to 25, and more than 60% of government schools in India, they have PTR as per RTE norms. So this is again one of the improvement after Right to Education Act. The dropout rate has declined. Now it gives the paradox on one side, the annual dropout rate at primary level has come down, but average annual dropout rate at the upper primary level has increased. The gender parity index also has improved. Now the last paragraph discuss about enrollment in all the different categories, SC, ST, girls, it has improved. Even the table in yearbook has been showcased that gives the indication regarding SC, ST, girls, their enrollment and the improvement in those in different years. So just remember a few things that this kind of education system in India, there has been certain improvement. There are certain issues as well. Those issues are highlighted by the ASER, Annual Status for Education Report. What ASER learning outcomes.
But we have seen quantitative improvements. But
We have improved, right?
qualitatively, yes.
No, we have improved definitely, but there are certain gray areas. Qualitatively, yes. So the learning outcomes has been one of the issue as per ASER. So class 5th, what the two criteria that ASER takes, that class 5th student is not able to read the text of class 2nd student and rising number of that. Same way, they're not able to do the basic numeracy, basic arithmetics like multiplication, addition, all these things. And here we have certain positive outcomes. Universal enrollment at primary level, higher PTR, more than 60% of PTR as per RD norm. That's all. Now, inclusive education. So, inclusive education, what do you bring? It says special focus on children with special needs. What to do for this category of students, children with special needs? You read it first, then we discuss that identification, functional formal assessment, provision of aids and appliances, teachers training, engagement of resource person exclusively for children with special needs, sports services and barrier-free access. So one of the objective is quality inclusive education. Okay, what kind of environment you feel, what kind of classes should be there for children with special needs or differently abled children? Means, should it be separate classes or integrated classes? How it should be? Okay, आप बता रहे हैं separate. Your
That depends on the condition.
it depends. Don't say diplomatic answer. Give say one answer.
Special classes.
Hmm?
Especially it should be special classes on the children with special needs.
Oh, that is ठीक है.
Like separate and specialized classroom.
Should there be separate classes, separate classrooms for the children with special needs, or
Yes.
integrated classes?
Separate. Integrated.
For some separate, some class.
Don't change your don't change your stand. Kushagar?
Sir, depends on
What is the
yes, sir, for depends on what kinds of special needs are. Some special needs don't require separate, so they can be.
Yes, Divya.
Not very good.
No, but your idea is it's not say you will be punished for this. It's your idea.
So it is a mental case.
It should be, sir, I think, it depends on like what is the need of child. If the level is very low, then they should be given some orientation and then brought into main classes so that they can have proper interaction with the rest of the
How
kids.
would blind and blind and deaf schools
Also, sir,
integrated
autistic
Mhm.
autistic student, they will need separate schools.
क्या करें?
The blind and deaf, they need separate class because they can't be integrated.
The conditions like autism and cerebral palsy would degenerate over the period of time. So it shouldn't be the case that they would be treated and they will be brought to the mainstream education. There has to be separate, dedicated education system for that. Teachers have to be sensitized with the special needs.
Sports जब होंगे तो साथ में खेल सकते हैं, but learning
अच्छा.
उनकी different speeds पे चलेगी. तो
So a 20-year CP patient understands a 5-year-old.
Yes. What do you think so?
Separate classes.
Separate. Okay. The thing is,
but they could be demoted to the lower classes.
when we discuss inclusive education, there had been these kind of arguments definitely that there should be separate classes and all. But over a period of time, there has been more and more consensus that is building over world over that there should be integrated classes. There will be the difficulties, no doubts, right? But this is somewhat more and more experts and people all over the world they are agreeing how to bring the changes. Because even despite having the separate classes for so many years, till now the same phenomena that has been followed world over, that having separate classes. But it is something that is further excluding them from the mainstream. If the children from the starting level itself, the school level itself, they are made to feel you are not as equal as anybody else. They are made to sit in a separate classroom, so they won't be able to have the same level of confidence when they interact with other people. Right? Even a differently able person can be of very high value for the society, can be of very high value for himself, a dignified life the person if lives. It depends on whether the person is able to recognize the potential in him or in her. Else, generally, family sees the person as a burden. Society also keeps on feeling the person as a burden, and the person himself also starts feeling as a burden on his family or her family or over the society.
So by following separate method, society is not sensitized towards their issues. They are not sensible towards their needs and how
Yes.
much love is needed for them.
Yes, correct.
So by bringing them in one collective class, it would be like those who are not understanding, they should be taught to understand.
Yes, definitely. And other students also will get to appreciate, will get to learn. Even what happens in a classroom with the different abilities. It's kind of different abilities people they're having. They learn from each other. Okay, whatever, definitely there would be many of the hurdles, many of the challenges would come. We accept this thing. But thing is, we cannot allow them to remain excluded from the mainstream, to remain excluded from the main part. And we have faced so many challenges in the past, so why not this challenge we could face?
So all the major schools are having a separate class for
Yeah,
child with special.
that's what we are saying. So the need uh, is there.
Common education system has to be.
Yes, the need to reform this, need to bring the integrated classroom approach. A teacher has to, now the major responsibility will come on teacher. Teacher has to prepare according to different needs of the students. Has to recognize the different needs of every of the students of his or her class. So that, so this is how nowadays, what more and more, how the people, more and more consensus is building over this, having integrated classroom approach. There could be certain exclusive resources could be dedicated to them, separate things could be there, devices could be there, other things could be there, but environment should be equal, environment should be inclusive. Okay, now we come on the next, that is emphasis on girl education. Just have a couple of initiatives, see through them. Kasturba Gandhi Balika Vidyalaya was opened in
EVDs.
educationally backward blocks where female rural literacy is below national average. So it's a residential upper primary school for the girls, right? Then gender atlas. So gender atlas, it provides the kind of data on the girl education. So when you have the data on girl education, you can work on them with focus on the vulnerable girls and the girls with disabilities. So there is gender atlas. And Swachh Bharat Swachh Vidyalaya initiative. Swachh Vidyalaya initiative, separate toilets for boys and girls. And this had been a reason why there are seen drop out of the girls from schools, right? So these three are mentioned as emphasis on girl education. Udan is a scheme. Udan scheme is for, will come to those among the new initiatives. What is Udan?
देश का आम नागरिक.
बताइए, एक्सप्लेन कीजिए क्या, what is that?
Udan is for northeast.
Coaching. Udan बहुत सारे.
Udan, yeah, there are multiple Udan schemes.
मेरे जम्मू कश्मीर स्टूडेंट्स के लिए.
बहुत अच्छा.
तीसरा ये है जिसमें कोचिंग प्रोवाइड करेंगे फॉर टेक्निकल एजुकेशन.
Right. So this scheme Udan is what?
एक सिर्फ गर्ल्स के लिए भी होगा.
Oh, girls के लिए ही है, बता रहे हैं. So coaching of the girl students for engineering entrance exam, so that the bridge between quality of education in schools and required for the competitive exam can be bridged. So coaching in the, so online coaching, this was
For engineering or for other?
for
Entrance exams.
for the basically for the entrance examination. No, it's for basically for the engineering entrance exams, because coaching will be for the physics, chemistry and maths.
Secondary education.
So what do you use technical education?
हाँ, तो फिजिक्स केमिस्ट्री मैथ्स लिया है, तो टेक्निकल एजुकेशन बेसिकली उन्हीं के लिए है, राइट? So another Udan is Jammu and Kashmir youth, skill development of those and placement of those. Do you remember this?
Providing
Udan for the
training to them.
minorities, Udan for the Jammu and Kashmir youth.
Kashmir youth को vocation.
ठीक है?
Skill development.
Skill development, yeah, and placement of those. And this is it. This is called, okay, this scheme, which is a nodal ministry for Udan for Jammu and Kashmir youth.
Skill development. Minority.
Home Affairs. Ministry of Home Affairs. It is because major emphasis is on the national integration. You can see how the Udan scheme will help in the national integration, because once the youth of Jammu and Kashmir gets involved in the meaningful employment, kind of the disturbing activities will get reduced and they will be integrated into the mainstream employment, mainstream India. Okay, we go through the initiatives one by one. First one is so these are new initiatives. These now onwards, these are very important for your prelims exam. Remember them separately, collectively, whatever the way, different features, question can be asked.
अब सर स्वच्छ विद्यालय के अलावा कौन सा बोल रहे हैं? स्वच्छ विद्यालय के अलावा कौन सा?
स्वच्छ विद्यालय, एक स्वच्छता अभियान आएगा आगे, ठीक है. राष्ट्रीय आविष्कार अभियान, आविष्कार means invention, right? So national invention mission. So encouraging children of age group of 6 to 18 years in science, mathematics and technology. So encourage science and mathematics through alternative strategies. So this is national Rashtriya Avishkar Abhiyan, science, mathematics and technology. Age group 6 to 18 years. So from the starting of the schooling till they complete their senior secondary education, 18th. And second one is Padhe Bharat, Badhe Bharat. For class first and second students to enable them in the reading learning outcomes in reading comprehensions and numeracy skills. पढ़े भारत बढ़े भारत, ठीक है. जब भारत पढ़ेगा तो बढ़ेगा आगे. So basically depending upon class 1 and class 2 students, their reading comprehension skills and numeracy skills. कैसे करना है वो डिफरेंट तरीके दिए गए यहाँ पर. You can go through them, but easily you can recognize what would help in the comprehension, reading comprehension and numeracy skills. Then Saransh. Saransh is what? It's online facility for CBSE schools and affiliated schools. So schools can look at their performance at an aggregate level and level of each student. What actually will be the performance would be in a data format, chart, graph format, and for the comparison purpose, for the evaluation purpose. Saransh, what is meaning of Saransh? Summary. So it's a kind of summary sheet for the whole school, for every student in the school, and across different schools. So they could compare, they could see through the performance of their school or of any of the student performance. So that is Saransh. So ये ध्यान रखना है which scheme, which is a CBSE board scheme it is for affiliated and CBSE school. Then there is Teachers Training Program, National Mission for Teachers Training, on the name of Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya. So it is a kind of umbrella scheme to bring all the schemes of teachers training under this. Just remember this. Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya, National Mission for Teachers Training. Then the review of the regulators. So UGC, their functioning is being reviewed by the review committee. Though it should be acting as regulation enforcement of minimum standards of education, but what UGC is doing, it is mainly doing the role of giving the scholarships, grants basically. So same way AICT is to be reviewed. PT के लिए इतना important नहीं है, just remember कि हाँ UGC review करने there is a committee. Same way for AICT also there is a committee to review the function.
Given the report, they are saying that take away all the financial power of UGC and give it to another autonomous body. UGC usually has the.
Then next, national ranking framework. So framework for universities and institutions, even you see recently there had been the ranking of the various institutions, right? Mandatory accreditation. This council is there for accreditation. Come to next. Vocation study. Bachelors in vocational studies. This is initiative to encourage vocational studies. Till now we had not this kind of bachelors in vocational studies. So with multiple exits at diploma, advanced diploma under NSQF.
This is in line with same.
Yes, yes, definitely. So bachelors of vocational education, this degree would be there with multiple exits. So for example, at 12th level or more than after that level, certain vocational education will be there. So at different levels they can exit. Still, that would be recognized. They would have certain kind of the skills in certain job roles, and the employability would be enhanced. Because the major issue in our country regarding employment is what? There's a gap between what are the skills are held with the people and what the skills are required by the industry. And it limits their employability. So that gap has to be bridged so that the skill is in lines with the requirement of the industry. So that we get the job ready people, job ready students. So objectives you can see employability of youth to be enhanced, maintain that competitiveness with the provisions multiple entry, multiple exit, gap between educated and employable, reduce dropouts, that is devocational. Then somewhere, remember the full form of somewhere? Skill assessment matrix for vocational advancement of youth. Skill assessment matrix for vocational advancement of youth. There are many schemes of which you may need to remember their full forms as well so that you get to know what they stand for. So, what the objective is? Vertical and lateral mobility within the vocational education system and between the current education system. Sorry? So that they can move from the education system or regular education system to the vocational education system. Vertical mobility across different levels they can move. Lateral from different systems they could move from one system from this education system to the vocational education system, that is horizontal mobility. Lateral mobility after say you can say yeah yeah directly they could go for the higher level of say skill training. So what it helps, it brings the academic knowledge in line with the practical vocational skills. Because whatever the students they are getting learning in their schools and colleges, they could move to the vocational education system with this mobility. And employability of our educated youth to be enhanced. Then there is sector skill council in education. So there are different sector skill council. These are SSCs. This is one of the components through which our Skill India mission rests on to enhance the skills. So under our national skill mission, we have different agencies. For example, NSDA, NSDC, NSQF, then sector skill councils. So these are industry-driven sector skill councils. In education sector, the idea is to bring more and more job roles, more and more options of the employment in the education sector, not limited to only academic faculties and teacher qualification. Kaushal Kendras, what Kaushal stands for? Knowledge acquisition and upgradation of skilled human abilities and livelihood. This is Kaushal. Deen Dayal Upadhyaya Centers. This is Kaushal. Knowledge acquisition and upgradation of skilled human abilities. So what they will do? courses at PG level. So here integration of PG levels with the industry. So here the PG level higher education system will be integrated with the industry, kind of skill required in the industry, and helping them to acquire those. Right? So Kaushal Kendras for PG level, and helping them to get the kind of job roles, job skills that is required by the industry. So bringing the higher education system in line with the industry. Unnat Bharat Abhiyan, IIT, ISCR, and NITs. They are going to adopt the villages and bring the technologies that are required at those ground levels. What kind of technologies are required for sustainable development through people's participation? So connect these institutes of higher education with local communities. Unnat Bharat Abhiyan. What kind of issues that will be focused by these institutions on water management? So these are issues which our villages are facing right now. So these issues will be taken care with us by these institutions. Water management, organic farming, renewable energy, frugal technology, infrastructure and livelihood. युक्ति योग्य कलाकृति की तकनीक. Now there are so many new schemes that has been launched in the last say 2-3 years. Even if you compare in comparison to the last 10 years in a decade and these 2-3 years, there has been many. The whole India book has changed. You see a couple of years India book and now India book, the completely transformed version now we have. योग्य कलाकृति की तकनीक. So traditional arts and crafts. So skill development and upgradation of design and technologies, enhancing the economic prospects of those engaged in traditional arts and crafts. So there are different artisan craftsmen in our villages. So helping them to enhance their skills and what kind of the design technology they are using, upgrading those so that their livelihood can be ensured, their economic prospects can be strengthened. So yukti, yogya kalakriti ki technique. From the kala, you can say kalakriti is something art, right? So यहाँ से you can try to get the idea what this yukti will talk about. Traditional arts and crafts. Saksham, scholarship for differently abled children, scheme by AICT, and helping to encourage differently abled children to pursue technical education. So name Saksham to make somebody able, so to ensure the differently abled people they get to enhance their ability. And Ishan Uday for students of Northeast, kind of scholarship scheme for students of Northeast. Ishan, from the Ishan word, remember it's for Northeast region. Second scheme is Ishan Vikas. ठीक है, ईशान विकास नॉर्थ ईस्ट के लिए इट इज एकेडमिक एक्सपोजर फॉर नॉर्थ ईस्ट स्टूडेंट्स. सो इन ईशान उदय it is scheme for scholarship so that people, the students of northeast region, they get the admission, they take admission, their education is financed, right? Once they take admission, now they need exposure as well, exposure with other institutions of say excellence, and that exposure is given in Vikas. उदय में क्या करते हैं, एडमिशन लेते हैं, and their education is sponsored by the state.
There is also a scholarship for preparation of IAS. For North
होगा, right?
One of my friends is getting that.
There are different scholarship programs even for different say lower caste as well. Scholarship होता है हर जगह. So here भी ईशान उदय and ईशान विकास. अभी इसको याद रखो, क्वेश्चन आ जाएगा यहाँ से, ठीक है. ईशान उदय क्या है? स्कॉलरशिप, एडमिशन ले लेते हैं, so that they get the admission, get their studies get financed by the state. Now when they get admission, their studies are being financed, they need exposure with other institutions of excellence For example, IITs, NITs, ISCR. In women literacy, now they are trying to appoint more and more women in the higher, in these education institutions of higher institutions. For example, all these. Leave it. Come to Udan. And this is Udan for girl students to make them unable to compete for the engineering entrance exams. I specifically mentioned engineering entrance exams. Scheme by CBSC. So helping them to enhance their learning in physics, chemistry, and maths. So free online supplementary lessons. So to bridge the gap between school education and engineering entrance examination.
So there is 951 students that been selected. So is there any entrance test for?
There would have been. There would be certain criteria for the selection. So this Udan, another Udan for Jammu and Kashmir youth, and third Udan, Ode Desh ke Aam Nagrik. It is RCS, Regional Connectivity. Hmm? Yes, that is 1A. There is a difference. In UDAN, Ode Desh ke Aam Nagrik.
In capital letter.
Yes.
It is not.
Sakshar Bharat. छोड़ो इसको. Come to next, Pragati. So there are two schemes on Pragati. One is this Pragati.
Proactive governance and timely
Right. So proactive governance and timely implementation. That is kind of governance reform kind of scheme that is. Here it is scholarship for girl child for technical education. So scholarship will be provided for technical education. तो क्या कि उड़ान से admission ले लिया यहाँ पे, they become competitive enough, they get the admission. Now their technical education is financed by the government as per scholarship. Then another scheme for girl child, Swami Vivekananda scholarship for single girl child. So social science के अंदर research in social science with an aim to compensate direct cost of higher education. So UGC has introduced this scheme. Swami Vivekananda scholarship for single girl child. Shala Darpan ICT program. Parents, they can get access to their child's progress in the school. They can view records of attendance, assignment, achievement of the child. Now the child won't be able to lie with their parents ki haan, they're going to schools regularly. I'm getting good grades. So now the parents would have access to their performance and their role in the school. So mobile access to parents in government and government aided school. Shala Darpan. Shala Utsav. So kind of the celebration it is. Foundation day of school is celebrated. So different people from the community, they are invited. Retired teachers are invited. So community participation it is, and they feel proud being part of that school and in that locality. So Siksha Samvad happens. Samvad, interaction kind of thing, right? So education dialogue. So community that gets engaged in education dialogue on the various issues of improving school functioning and quality of learning. So Shala Utsav. Shala, I think from Part-2 it has been taken with. So Shala Darpan mirror, that shows the mirror actually of their child, what they are doing, right? Truth of what their children are doing in the schools. Shala Utsav, they celebrate kind of festival. Yes, Foundation Day is being celebrated. GIS mapping is done. Swachh Bharat, Swachh Vidyalaya initiative we had done earlier. Remember, toilets for the girls' school means for separate toilets for boys and girls. Then Swachh Vidyalaya. So Swachh Vidyalaya portal is there. So it's user-friendly web portal. So all the schools are selected and ensuring they are with the toilets. They are and they are being tagged and uploads. The photographs are uploaded and action is taken accordingly. Then there is Swachhta Abhiyan Bal Swachhta Mission by CBSE. So cleanliness it focus on. Then know your college. It gives information to know about your college. Means suppose you want to join some college, you don't have information, so you may take some uninformed decision. So know your college helps in taking informed decision to get admission in that college. So all the information is provided. So helping a prospective student to make a valued judgment for selection of college, providing the necessary information about the college, to which it is affiliated, any collaboration, international collaboration or not, because there are so many misguided advertisements that come in the papers. Yes, right. Then Campus Connect. So ICT driven this initiative is leverage the potential of ICT for teaching and learning process. Just remember this objective, what the objective of Campus Connect is. Because once you connect the campus with ICT, it helps in leveraging the potential of both teaching and learning. Simple connection it is. So Campus Connect में क्या करेंगे? Full internet connection, everything would be there. ICT would be used. National e-library, we have National Digital Library. What this National Digital Library does, it has various sources, the information is being digitalized. The different knowledge from the different sources are pooled together, and it is made easily accessible to the students. Yeah, yes, you are correct about it. Swayam, this question was asked last year, I think. It's MOC, massive open online courses. So, Gyan, and this can be asked this year then. Global Initiative for Academic Networks. So, what is there in Gyan? You see the full form Global Initiative. So, means the teachers, the educationists from the different reputed institutions, foreign institutions, they will come to India. To Indian institution, they will deliver the lectures. They have certain programs, and those lectures will be made available to the students. Right? So it's kind of the integration or the collaboration kind of thing from those institutions, and to help our students to get the quality lectures at the affordable prices. And when then those respective institutions within India, they will upload those lectures on the website, so that the accessibility of those quality lectures can be provided. Right? कभी समझ आ रहा है क्या कह रहे हैं इसमें? What is in Gyan?
Global scientists and entrepreneurs will come here and collaborate. They'll give some lectures in higher technical education institutions, and those videos will be uploaded from those products. That will be useful.
ठीक है, बाहर से लोग आएंगे, लेक्चर्स देंगे यहाँ पे, इजीली मिल जाएगा सभी को, ये सारी चीजें. Research parks, knowledge and innovation ecosystem through collaboration between industry and academia. Kind of knowledge and innovation ecosystem they provide for. IIT Madras has already functional research parks. IIT Bombay and IIT Kharagpur, they will also build one. Triple IT initiative. Indian Institute of Information Technology. So, statutory status has been given to triple ITs by a law, and now it has also been declared as Institute of National Importance. Bal Sansad, which ministry has launched? Ministry of Parliamentary Affairs. Youth Parliament Scheme. So what the purpose is? So that the students, they get aware about what the parliamentary work is, what the basic idea of parliamentary work is, right? To help them in the discussion, deliberation, debate. This is what all happens in Parliament. and to basically realize or appreciate the values of democracy or certain values, leadership skills are being developed.
About half of the time they are fighting, they are throwing chairs.
That is another part, but the good things can be taken by the students. Sanskrit Week. Sanskrit Week is not about the Sanskrit language basically, but about the sorry, it's about that particular interest of students in Sanskrit language and providing channels and platform for creative potential student teachers. So to encourage the Sanskrit language. Now this is for the our indigenous language, our local mother language, Maitri Bhasha Divas. Maitri Bhasha, your mother tongue. So dissemination of mother tongues and fuller awareness of linguistic and cultural tradition. So CBSE celebrates this International Mother Language Day or Maitri Bhasha Divas. Then Ganit, growing aptitude in numerical innovation training. From the name you try to find that innovation, numerical innovation training. So schools to CBSE commemorate the birth anniversary of Ramanujan and promote interest of students in mathematics. So this is the objective. Last year the question movie was asked. So Ganit. So Ganit is also linked to it to commemorate the birth anniversary of Ramanujan. Ganit week. Try to revise all these schemes first. There are so many schemes.
Still, India is not even.
Revise these schemes.
सर कॉपीराइट्स में उसका बहुत इशू हो गया है ना,
पहले ये पढ़ लो एक
फोटो कॉपी।
बार, ये पढ़ लीजिए आप एक बार, रिवाइज करो इनको। ओके डन। चलो बताइए, अमित आपसे स्टार्ट करते हैं। स्कीम्स इन दिस चैप्टर डेडिकेटेड टू गर्ल्स एजुकेशन।
प्रगति, उड़ान, उड़ान. There is also some part of the Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan. Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan.
यस अभिषेक।
So gender atlas,
जेंडर एटलस गुड, कस्तूरबा गांधी विद्यालय।
उड़ान
हो गया है, उड़ान प्रगति हो गया है। व्हाट इज उड़ान?
उड़ान is for admission and प्रगति is for scholarship.
क्या एडमिशन? उड़ान क्या है?
For girl child and technical education.
हाँ,
For girl child and technical education.
इंजीनियरिंग के लिए
भाई उनको एडमिशन कराना है इंजीनियरिंग एंट्रेंस के लिए, कोचिंग करानी है, राइट, फिजिक्स केमिस्ट्री मैथ। एंड प्रगति हाँ स्कॉलरशिप है। अब एडमिशन होगा कि स्टडी को फाइनेंस करना है, ठीक है।
स्वच्छ भारत स्वच्छ विद्यालय,
सही, स्वच्छ भारत इनिशिएटिव, स्वच्छ विद्यालय इनिशिएटिव, सेपरेट टॉयलेट्स।
राष्ट्रीय आविष्कार अभियान,
उसमें
पढ़े
क्या
भारत,
क्या क्या बता रहे हैं आप? गर्ल एजुकेशन, वुमेन लीडर था आपका एक, हाँ, यस वेरी गुड,
सिंगल चाइल्ड,
यस फॉर सिंगल गर्ल चाइल्ड। So there are around 5, yeah, हो गया कस्तूरबा गांधी बालिका विद्यालय। So there are 5 around schemes, initiative in this chapter. फिर से देखते हैं, कस्तूरबा गांधी बालिका विद्यालय, ठीक है, जेंडर एटलस, then प्रगति, sorry, then there was this स्वच्छ विद्यालय initiative for separate toilets, प्रगति, उड़ान, स्वामी विवेकानंद। तो 6 स्कीम, 6 इनिशिएटिव है फॉर द गर्ल। सो ट्राई टू रिमेंबर द स्कीम्स इन अ वे कैटेगरिंग टू पर्टिकुलर सेक्शन so that you can remember them, and it's a more beneficial way to remember for the mains exam as well. Mains के अंदर ऐसे नहीं पूछेगा, हो सकता है it asks for the girl education, so you should have all the schemes at one go for girl education. हाँ, वो तो इस चैप्टर की बात कर रहे हैं हम, इस चैप्टर से आपने क्या सीखा है, ठीक है। अब बताइए नॉर्थ ईस्टर्न रीजन के लिए स्कीम,
Ishan, sir, ईशान उदय
बहुत अच्छे,
उदय स्कॉलरशिप देता है, विकास कनेक्ट करता है आईआईटी एनआईटी।
बहुत बढ़िया। So ईशान उदय and ईशान विकास. ईशान उदय scholarship, ईशान विकास exposure to other institutions of learning, IIT, NITs, ISCR. ठीक है. Now tell for the differently able students. Saksham, very good. ज्ञान क्या है कवि? आपने नहीं बताया लास्ट टाइम, प्रिया बताइए ज्ञान। ग्लोबल इनिशिएटिव फॉर एकेडमिक नेटवर्क। नाम से देखो ग्लोबल इनिशिएटिव है, एकेडमिक नेटवर्क, तो कनेक्ट करना है, नेटवर्क बनाना है। दोज पीपल विल कम हियर इन इंडियन इंस्टीट्यूशन टू द लेक्चर्स। ठीक है। Then any scheme for say skill development engaging with the PG courses? युक्ति नहीं इसके लिए, युक्ति कौशल विकास केंद्र, क्या नाम है उसका? नहीं क्या बात सुन तो लो, पीजी कोर्सेज को इंटीग्रेट करना। कौन सा है? समवेयर। देख लो एक बार, कंफर्म करो। ठीक है। And then there is scheme for lateral entry, skill development, vocational education। दो स्कीम है आपकी। ये कौशल विकास केंद्र है जो कि पीजी कोर्सेज के लिए। कौशल विकास केंद्र है that talks about PG courses and integration with the skill development। तो कंफर्म कर लिया अगर when we say confirm। ठीक है। Then there is one scheme for artisan craftsmen of the villages, that is yukti, बहुत अच्छे। Then any scheme for say engineering technology enhancement or certain solution for the rural technologies, rural क्या आपका? उन्नत विकास, बहुत अच्छे, उन्नत भारत। ठीक है। क्या करते हैं those institutions that adopt the villages? They adopt the villages, right? ठीक है। स्वयं you know MOC, it is National Digital Library, right? Even NDL will be Braille enabled. So if the statement is NDL is inclusive, yes it is inclusive. National Digital Library, yeah, NDL.
Campus Connect.
And regarding NDL, another point, how it is inclusive, because listen to it, how it will be inclusive, NDL, National Digital Library, or how the various MOC could be inclusive, because basically by providing the say online education, we are giving access to everybody, every section of society at very low affordable charges। कि आप इंटरनेट के जो आपके चार्जेस लगते हैं दो चार्जेस होंगे। Are you able to appreciate this point? So it's inclusive in this way as well. That's why we say accessibility can be enhanced by using technology. This is a way to enhance the accessibility of quality education. स्वयं में आपका MOC है, yes. NDL में भी आपका, because kind of the knowledge you are providing access to different people. Any other scheme? Or then there is Shala Darpan. What is Shala Darpan?
Attendance monitoring academic excellence.
Parents can see your performance, your progress. Shala. Then there is Shala Utsav. What is Shala?
They will come and have education.
ठीक है। संवाद होगा, डायलॉग होगा, शिक्षा संवाद। Any other initiative left? Campus Connect, yes. ICT, yes. Bal Sansad, good. Ganit, yes. Ganit, important आपका. What Ganit is? Name you can say, yes. ठीक है. What else?
Teacher training.
Yes, Swami, yeah, Madan Mohan Malviya, yes.
Teacher training.
Saksham is there. for different labor, Yukti, Unnat Bharat, Kaushal Kendras, sector skill councils, somewhere, be vocational. So you've done almost all the initiatives. Saransh, yes, Saransh that is your left. What is Saransh?
performance
summary या CBS report.
ठीक है, summary है, सारांश है of the school, of the students as well, help in the evaluation comparison of different school, different students. And there is बड़े भारत important initiative it is. बताइए क्या है? First second class. So also try to bring the initiatives, certain initiatives that are for primary education, because in mains the question comes for primary education. So specifically should have certain initiatives. वहां पर मतलब कि it won't work in the say way कि सब कुछ उसमें आ जाए. This is dedicatedly for primary education. पढ़े भारत बड़े भारत. These kind of questions are asked. So the focus is on comprehension, reading comprehension and basic numeracy skills. कैसे कराना है? Different ways हैं, वो you can just go through it. Avishkar Abhiyan, yes, science, mathematics and technology, 6 to 18 years. That's all. So go through them again, remember them and try to recall them without looking over the yearbook. जो मेंस में तो आपको कोई बताएगा नहीं. It should be exactly what is there. That's all. Now we come to the last topic, that is copyright. Copyright, okay. Copyright Office, the Registrar General, under which office, under which ministry?
HRD.
Ministry of HRD. So remember it. What all comes under this copyright? Literary, software, musical and artistic works, cinematographic films and sound recordings. बस इतना ही ध्यान रखना है. That under which ministry? HRD. And what all can come, what all works can be classified as can come under copyright.
So copyright office is not statutory.
ठीक है. Now tell about other IPRs. What about patent? Patent.
Commerce.
Patent जो है, patent. What is patent or for what patent is given?
For a new invention.
Invention के लिए दिया जाता है. Under which office patent office will come? Under which ministry?
Commerce.
बहुत अच्छे. DIPP, Ministry of Commerce and Industry, right? Then there is industrial design.
Same ministry.
Same ministry. Okay. GI.
Commerce में आता है. Commerce में आता है. Corporate of the side.
Geographical GI. Plant variety. Okay, what all are IPRs? List IPRs. This is copyright, patent, trademark. What about trademark? Trademark will come under which ministry? The Office of Trademark. Registrar of Trademark will come under which ministry?
सर सिर्फ ये कॉपीराइट लगा था बाकी सब सेम है.
Yeah, this is the correct answer. Copyright comes under MHRD. All under DIPP. DIPP under Ministry of Commerce and Industry. सब कुछ, everything. DIPP is department under Ministry of Commerce and Industry. So you can refer this. You can go to economy page and IPR. In economy page you have IPR, WTA issues. You can see through what all are IPR. So important for your mains. In economy you have one of the page as IPR and WTA issues. What is IPR? Go through it. What all are different IPRs? Those are mentioned here. Right, the acts, under what acts they are listed. Then it is mentioned here Office of Patents, Design and Trademark. This bordered office under DIPP, Ministry of Commerce. All these acts it manages. So you can see Patents Act, Trademarks Act, GI, designs and advises government on matters relating to IPR. Then now we have new IPR policy, right? In 2016, new IPR policy came. Refer to this. What all are components of IPR policy? Because policy the questions are being asked. Now you never know which policy. It's also very important policy. Just how foreign trade policy is there. That's all for today's class.
Okay, so that's all for today's class. If you like this video, you hit like and subscribe to our channel as well.